All right. Couch Hustler back at you. Double. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Number 19. Oleander. 1102 Oleander. It even sounds old when you hear that street. And it is. It was an old condo complex. Very cool. It was a complex, I believe there were apartments at one time. It was probably about 15 to 20 units, and then they turned them into condos. All two-story, let me see. Yeah, all two-story because all the garages are underneath. So all the garages are on the bottom, and you live up top. Everybody has to climb upstairs to get up to their units. Some units are bigger than others, but this one was a one-bedroom unit, 1102 Oleander. I purchased it from a local farmer. He was a farmer that put a for sale by owner sign. I remember my buddy lived down the street in some apartments, and I think I was picking him up to go to the gym or get some coffee. I don't know what we were doing, but I picked him up, and I'm driving down this street, Oleander, and we drive down the street, and I look up, and I see a for sale by owner sign, red and white sign in the window. So I'm like, oh, man, I'm calling that. Called it, talked to the seller right away. Really nice guy, local farmer. If not Kern County, at least Tulare County, somewhere, one of these close counties. And I call him, and I say, hey, you want to meet up at the property? I'd like to look at it. I'm very interested in purchasing it. We meet up at the property. I believe he just evicted somebody from the property, or at least got a tenant out that he didn't really care for. And he just basically wanted to sell it. He didn't want to deal with it any longer. And I made him an offer right away. He wanted $75,000 for it, or $80,000, which I didn't even negotiate. I said, deal, let's do it. I'm going to give you $500 a month, which seems kind of low, right? But his rents were probably getting like $600, $700 at the time because it was a single unit, or a one-bedroom unit. And HOA on that one, I believe, is $75 because it has a homeowners association. So anyways, I offered him $500 a month. I think he came back at me at like $550 a month. No interest. You know, we didn't negotiate interest or anything like that. I just told him $550 a month. I'll pay it off in the next 7 years or 6 years or whatever it was. It's just a quick deal. He accepted it right away. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I said, okay, well, we're going to open escrow. Well, he remembered First American Title. I guess that's where he bought it. I wouldn't use First American Title. I like these newer ones, but he wanted to go there, so we went to First American Title. Now, this is the first time an escrow company kind of stepped out of their bounds, I think, because basically they brought up interest. And I was like, well, why are you guys bringing up interest? You know, him and I have already negotiated this deal, and you're sitting here bringing up adding to our transaction here. And so it kind of ticked me off a little bit because she put this in his head, you know, hey, you know, maybe you should be charging him interest. So I was like, well, no, I don't want to pay interest on the property. It's going to change everything. I'm going to change the price of the property now. You wanted $75,000, $80,000 for the place, you know, then that should be the deal. Anyways, he said, you know what, forget about it, no interest. So I didn't get interest on the property, which is great, right? So every payment's all principal. That one, my dad moved into it. So actually, my dad was coming in from Orange County. He came to Kern County, and he needed a place, and he moved into it. So my dad moved into it, and he kind of helped me with the payment. It was a very cheap payment, so, you know, I don't even know. I think we did 50-50. Some months I just paid it, you know, and I told him, whatever, don't worry about it this month. Because for me, it was a long-term investment to get into it anyways. And he ended up staying there for a little bit, and I think we ended up selling it. We put it up for sale. We did like 75,000. Yeah, so I sold it for like 100,000, 125,000. Nice lady. She ended up doing a lease option at first. She gave me 25,000 down. Moved from LA. Very nice lady. She moved down here from LA area, 25,000 down, and then she ended up refinancing, got a loan, and paid it off. Very nice. The only thing that I remember that was weird about these garages is that you share the garage. So basically they were like carports, but they were closed in carports, but you shared them with your neighbor. So you don't want to put anything too valuable in there because it's kind of a shared garage. But each one was like that. So like you park your car in there and there would be 3 other cars in there, but they were closed off only to you. And there's like a little door that would enter into a courtyard to take you up to your condo. But it was just kind of strange. But it's nice, I guess, still for security. You know, hopefully you got a good neighbor so they don't go trying to break into your car or steal your random things that you might keep in your side of the garage. But anyways, it was still a good deal. 1102 Oleander. Picked it up on an owner finance, no interest. I think this was my first one, no interest. Yeah. Oh, you know what else I did? So when I cashed out on this deal, no, it wasn't this one. My bad. I was going to say I renegotiated a payoff. That's one thing you can do. So let's say you lock in a contract at $100,000, right? And you negotiate that you're going to pay it off in 10 years, okay? So 10 years, you're paying $500 a month or whatever. And these are low numbers, I know, but I'm just giving you an example. And let's say in 5 years you decide to sell the property, okay? And obviously you're selling it for more than what you owe. But what you could do is you can renegotiate the payoff to the seller that you owe. So if you owed them 100, if you owed them, 75,000, 100,000, whatever it is, and you say, hey, I know I owe you this money and I'm going to pay it over 10 years, but I came across some other money and I could pay you off sooner. I could pay you off in the next 4 to 5 years, or I could pay you off tomorrow if you got the funds. If you'd like, would you be willing to take a discount? And I've done that multiple times. I did try to do this on this one, but he didn't want to do it. And I think it's because he's well off and he didn't care. He was willing to just wait the 10 years. Even though he wasn't getting interest, he still was willing to wait to get his full amount of funds, in 10 years. But it did work on some other ones that I've had. And anyways, I've made like an extra 10,000, 15,000 by just asking that. So just saying, hey, since it's an early payoff, can I get a little bit of a discount? So sometimes it works. Sometimes you get a $10,000, $15,000 discount just by saying, hey, I'm going to pay it off a lot sooner than 10 years. Are you willing to take a little bit of a discount? It works. Always hustling. Couch Hustler.